to change the mix of uses in the downtown.
Convert unused office space to housing.
Have you ever looked at a vacant office building and wondered, could this be turned into a living space? Today, we're diving deep into the intriguing world of converting commercial spaces into residential apartments. But wait, how does that even work? And what are the challenges one might face in this transformation process? Stay tuned to find out. A few years ago, if you were to walk by 1313 Earl Saint in Washington, D.C., you would have noticed an office building with a 1980s aesthetic. It is none other than the National Association for Education of Young Children's headquarters. The building was made of red brick with large windows and the organization's logo painted on the side. However, if you pass by the same location at this time next year, you might see a just constructed apartment complex with slick gray siding and a rooftop patio. So what is the reason for this transformation? The project illustrates a developing trend in real estate and involves transforming vacant, aging office space into residences. These conversions seem to be a win-win situation, since converting an abundance of underutilized office space into much-needed urban dwellings can be cost-effective. Although inflation may decrease, many purchasers still find the property market excessively hot, but it's easier to turn workplaces into apartments. However, while it's simple to see the conversion process, such as installing walls and pipes, it becomes complex. As we journey through this amazing transformation, we'll see how unused office spaces are given a new lease on life, revitalizing communities and offering unique housing opportunities. Can you imagine your desk becoming your dining table? The void created by commuters who now only visit the office a few days a week is difficult to fill. These workers frequently visit restaurants and dry cleaners in the downtown area. Hence, without them, businesses are closing and offices are empty. Cities attempting to convert vacant office space into homes are saving their downtowns. As a step, officials in San Francisco are working to change the present construction standards and eliminate additional taxes for office to residential conversions. Moreover, the mayor of Washington, D.C. wants to increase funding for a tax break program for office conversions. Even in major business hubs like New York, there are an increasing number of vacant spaces. And according to real estate company CBRE, Manhattan office vacancy in May was 15%. The CEO of real estate colossus Hines' New York office, Jason Alderman, claimed that the trip had severely diminished the willingness of many individuals to slog into the office each day. Furthermore, he added that the Hines building had better occupancy rates than other buildings within half a mile of Grand Central and Penn Station, two important transit hubs. However, he said, buildings catering to people are making it exciting to come back to the office. As we can see, Hines is considering office to apartment conversion projects as demand for other office buildings decline. Do you know that converting an office into an apartment is hectic? However, there are some simple steps that you can take to follow it in a much easier way. But before we get into that, let's discuss the obstacles that might arise during the transition. Want to see how your neighborhood's outdated, disused office building could become the next trendy loft apartment? A lot of buildings don't have the right structure for the transition. Cities have erected barriers despite their efforts to persuade developers to convert office buildings into flats. Strict zoning regulations in New York already impact which buildings can be turned into residences. Hence, residential rezoning can be a time-consuming and expensive process. According to Alderman, approval also needs the backing of legislators, who frequently include conditions for affordable housing that a developer might not be able to handle. Following the expiration of a state tax exemption for developers who incorporate affordable housing in their projects, many developers in New York are already making adjustments. Moreover, the exemption significantly impacted the development of multifamily housing in the city. Research by NYU's Furman Center found that the tax exemption was used in 70% of multifamily buildings constructed between 2010 and 2020. Furthermore, to encourage initiatives like the conversion of the 1313 LL Saint building by the architecture of Hickok Cole, the government in Washington, D.C. has exempted downtown projects from affordable housing criteria. Director of High Performance Design at the company, Guilherme Almeida, commented that the economics of these projects are not slam dunk. economics, the construction of new housing downtown would have been discouraged by the demand for affordable housing because the projects are too complicated and expensive. In contrast, studies revealed that converting an office into an apartment is good for the environments, as we need to start from scratch. According to the World Green Building Council, the construction of buildings is responsible for producing 11% of worldwide carbon emissions. In another research given by the National Historic Preservation Fund's Preservation Green Lab, it can take a new energy-efficient structure up to 80 years to offset its carbon emissions. Patrice Frey, the previous sustainability head for the fund, asserted that repurposing an existing structure can significantly lower emissions. He added, "We can't think of our resources as disposable, that we can just keep moving buildings and abandoning or building and demolishing. We need to use what we have more sustainably." She claimed that one factor contributing to the housing and commercial real estate crisis during the previous decades was the tendency of developers to design buildings specifically for office or residential use. Furthermore, she is optimistic that the field will eventually move towards creating structures that can better respond to shifting needs. According to Frey, how we think about flexible, adaptable space must be included in everything we build in the future, because we need to design for centuries, not decades. So when we look at sales of office and apartment buildings in 2021, we can see a year of mixed results for offices and good results for residences. As the pandemic persisted in 2021, NYC offices suffered from underutilization, but residences experienced a remarkable recovery. In 2021, the average rent for an apartment block was $434 per square foot. Moreover, the approximate cost that a developer may provide to convert an office building into a typical residential complex would be less conversion costs and profit margin. Although there is obviously a lot of variation around the median, this is just a rough exercise. Hence, the price to convert offices into a typical residential block ranges from $100 to $200 per square foot, though the price may have increased dramatically since then. A developer must look for offices available at $262 per square foot if we assume $150 per square foot in hard and soft costs, plus a 15% profit margin of $23 per square foot. Hence, according to the exhibit, the median New York office transaction price in 2021 was $542 per square foot, with around 20% of transactions occurring for $262 per square foot or less. Do you know that all office buildings cannot be converted into apartments? Studies revealed that an office building with a floor plate or of less than 14,000 square feet is suitable for conversion. So the next time you plan to convert an old office building, keep the above fact in mind. The floor plate will be approximately 120 feet by 120 feet in the worst case scenario, where both sides of the structure are equally deep, resulting in approximately the maximum depth of 50 feet of apartments on one side and 50 feet on the other, with at least 20 feet of lift core and mechanical in between. There may be different building orientations and innovative design and development approaches that either enable or prohibit conversion and even change the stacking arrangements of a structure up and down. So will the trend continue in the future? Unless office values and rents experience a significant, long-lasting decrease following the pandemic, the trend of office to flat conversion will likely be minimal. It sounds fantastic in theory, but finding an outdated office block with the proper price in today's market is challenging. Asking for rents, significant vacancies, and suitable floor plates to convert into an apartment block is challenging. However, in lower-rise New York submarkets, it's feasible that there are a few modest BC grade offices that lose important tenants and serve as good possibilities. Additionally, tertiary markets outside of New York may offer conversion prospects because they are less economically diverse and have dwindling sectors. And there you have it, a journey from office space to apartment. As we wrap up, we'd like to hear from you. What's your take on converting office buildings into apartments? Would you consider living in one such space? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Before you go, don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. We have plenty more exciting content on the horizon. Until next time.